Good morning, friends. It's Terrific Tuesday. I hope everybody had a fabulous weekend. I know I certainly did. It was nice and sunny and warm. Oh my goodness, it was fabulous. We don't get those very often, but we're headed into that nice kind of weather. Gen X, good morning. Sue, good morning. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. I have been hard at work on my baby blanket for my niece. And I got this to a point where we can work on the fun border today. So I'm very excited about it. My niece, as many of you know, had her baby this past week, and mom's home, baby's home. Everybody's doing well, and they named him with a J name. I don't want to tell what the name is, but anyhow, we'll just call this Baby J baby blanket, Baby J blanket. So yeah, it's kind of exciting. I want to put a little applique of a baby deer on here, like the little head. The last son that she has. This is her second child. You'll remember I did that Triceratops. Her theme was dinosaurs. This one is like baby animals. So baby raccoon, squirrel, deer, like baby wildlife, all the cute little critters, So very exciting. Sue, good morning. Welcome in. Kate, good morning. Welcome. Hey Leah, good morning. Welcome, welcome everybody. So this morning we're working on the border. And the way that I work this border may be a little unique for some of you to see how I work this up. What I'm doing is I have just finished coming out of a back post single, excuse me, not a back post, a third loop single crochet. So that's this little row here. So when I finished the center of the blanket, that's what we're looking at here is the center. We did Baby Kate's Blessing Blanket by Daisy Farm Crafts, where you do the crisscrosses and then you follow by a row of single crochet. This is upside down right now. After I finished that, I worked on a single crochet. Hey, Sarah, good morning. I put all of the information there on the YT description of this video. Let me talk a little bit about the baby blanket, and then I'll tell you about the border that I'm doing. So I did a single crochet, then I came back with a half double crochet, then I did a single crochet in the third loop. That's what this stitch is right here. When I did that, what it did is it made this little frame. And then I came back and I did 2 half doubles in one stitch, skipped a stitch, and then I did 2 more half doubles. And I alternated those just by skipping, kind of giving it a little diamond shape, I guess, or triangle shape, whatever you want to call it. Then I came back with another half double and I did the same thing. I put 2, but this time in between the blue stitches. And I did those half doubles all the way across. So 2, I didn't chain or anything. I just did another 2 like that. And then what I did is I came back again with that back third loop single crochet. That's what this is, to again give that a little border. So now what we're doing is we're making this border even larger. So this is the part we're going to be working on today. Basically, this is alternating front and back post double crochets, except for the very last row here. This is actually a half double crochet, because what my plan is for this, after I finish the last row, we're going to come back and we're going to do another section of this frame. So we're going to do a single crochet again in the third loop, which will cause that to kind of flip forward and frame in this section of stitches. And then after that, I'm going to come through and I'm going to do my traditional little scallop along the edge with the blue yarn. Okay, so that is our agenda this morning. So once again, the center of the blanket is Baby Kate's Blessing Blanket by Daisy Farm Crafts. She has this on her blog, also on YT, okay? And there's a tutorial for that. However, instead of using Daisy Farm Crafts, this border that I'm doing is called pattern 2208, 2208. And this is a gal that I watch on YT, and her handle is craft and the word and is spelled out A-N-D, crochet, craft and crochet. And that's her handle. But she makes fabulous little baby blankets, shoes, all of those things. Urge to Preserve, good morning, friend. Welcome in. So if you are watching on YT, all of that information is linked in the description. If you are watching this morning over on TikTok, the mods will pin where you can find all this information. It's kind of a lot this morning. I'm sorry. When I start to mix patterns like this, it makes it a little more complicated, but it's so worth it when you get this kind of outcome. So again, this is a baby blanket for my grand nephew who was born last week. Very exciting. And the yarn I'm using today is called Bernat Softee Cotton. It's a 60-40 blend, 60% acrylic, 60% cotton, 40% acrylic. Um, the thing I really like about this yarn, and I don't know if Bernat is going to keep making this, but it feels quality. When I think of like a vintage feel baby blanket or heirloom blanket, this yarn is what does it for me. It's absolutely fabulous. I really like the blend. It is machine washable and dryable. Very important for baby blankets, especially if it's a new baby. You want that family to be able to throw this in the washing machine and get some cleaning going on it. So, anyhow, really, really pretty yarn. This blue is called Dusk Sky, and the white is called Clear White. Okay. MJ, good morning. Welcome in. So, what I'm doing right now is I'm actually working with 4 different skeins of yarn, okay? And I know this is a little unique in how I'm working this. What I find is I don't like to keep turning my blanket around and around and around. So, if I can do a little shortcut like this, it works pretty slick. So, if I was doing this in the traditional way, I would work with my Dusk Sky, the blue yarn, and I would be alternating front and back post all the way around. Okay. And I would finish that entire row. After I did that, I would come back with the white yarn and I would go all the way around the blanket and so on. And I'm doing a total of 4 of these. So wherever I did a front post double crochet, I'm repeating that for every row. Wherever I did the back post, if we turn, you can see that back post. See that cool texture? I'm also doing the back post. So we're repeating in the same fashion. So rather than go all the way around the blanket, because I'm alternating colors, I have 4 skeins. I have 2 blue and 2 white, and I'm just working them up all at the same time. So that is what we have on deck for this morning. Veronica, good morning. I'm sorry I missed a lot of you while I was given the description of what we're working on today. Taryn, good morning. Thank you so much for the heart me. Allie, good morning. Welcome in. Welcome in. Jennifer, good morning. Bring on spring. That's right. Susan, good morning. Cindy, thank you so much. Good morning. Vicky is here. Good morning. Welcome in, everybody. Veronica, thank you for sharing the live. Nana, good morning. Welcome in, friends. Welcome in. So I'm going to resume now. This stitch that I just did here was a front post double crochet. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a back post double crochet. And it took me a while to learn how to do these alternating front and back posts or just back and front post in general. One of the things that I have figured out in my crochet journey is we're going to yarn over. What I do is I put my work forward. And what would happen is as I'm putting my work forward, can you see how that stitch kind of likes to hop off my hook? Because what we have to do is we have to work this stitch around this post of that single crochet that we just did. So when I first was learning this, boy, did I struggle. Boy, did I struggle. I was frustrated because that yarn would pop off. I kind of would try to put my hook down like this. So one of the little tricks, if you are struggling with this stitch, I will actually hold my thumb here. Now, this thumb will allow me to kind of control that loop, and I can pull that back so I can have the entire top of my hook here as I'm trying to find that stitch. So I put my work forward, slide under that post, then I can let go of my thumb, and then I yarn over and pull up a loop. So we have 3 loops, then yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. For some reason, when I do the front post, same thing, yarn over. Now we're going through the front. I don't have such a problem with it sliding around. There's my 3, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. It is mostly when I'm trying to do this back post. So again, you'll see me, I become a little fluid, but I hold that yarn there, pull that back, get it out of my way, find that post, slide underneath, and then yarn over, pull up my loop. So now we have 3, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Again, yarn over. Now we're back to the front. So go back through under that post. So we're not working on the top of the stitch here. We're actually working around the legs of that stitch with our double crochets. Okay, so we're just going to continue with this blue, and I'm just going to do a section of these. I don't know, 10, 12 inches, whatever it feels good to me. And then I'm going to put a little stitch marker in there to hold it. And then I'm going to pick up my next color. Again, you don't have to do it this way. If you've got extra yarn and you want to, that's totally cool. Sometimes people don't use different colors. Sometimes they'll use, all white when they do this. And so then it, of course, is not, I guess, as practical to use 4 different skeins. But if you've got it and you want to try it, it kind of makes it nice because you're not having to constantly keep turning that baby blanket in your lap. So that part can be a little challenging. Okay, so we'll just keep doing some more. So now we're back to a front post. Again, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Now here we are back to that back post. So again, you'll see me, I'll pull that yarn out of my way, find that post, slide underneath, pull up my loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And we're going to do this all the way around the baby blanket as we're just working along with these stitches. And then we'll come back and we'll be able to put the ruffle on it. So I see a lot of y'all chatting about daylight savings time, and y'all know I am so excited. Hey, just a Gen X girl, good morning, happy Tuesday. Welcome, welcome, friend. I'm super excited about coming off of daylight savings time, I'll tell you. It means we're going to have 2 hours to hang out in the morning before I have to go to work. And I won't feel quite so rushed on some of these larger projects when I'm working on them. It can be a little challenging. Well, where did I put my stitch marker? Here it is. Okay, so I'm going to pop back in my stitch marker. I'm just going to pause here. Now I'm going to come back to this little section here where I was doing my white. And now we're going to do a little white. Holly, good morning. Welcome in. Johnny, good morning. Welcome in. The blanket that I made, the center Sue is 24 by 30 inches. It's kind of a larger size baby blanket. My niece will probably use this like as an heirloom. She likes to take pictures as the kids get older with them. So I'm sure she'll kind of do that and use it kind of as an heirloom to have for them forever. So anyhow, welcome in everybody. Kimberly, good morning. Welcome in. Who else popped in? I saw a bunch of y'all coming. Y'all are getting woken up now. I never thought about doing multiple rows at once. This is a game changer, right, Liz? Isn't it kind of fun? Especially when you're working on a big blanket. Okay, so the first time I ever did this, hey Debbie, good morning. The first time I ever did this, can you guys remember back to, gosh, was it almost a year and a half ago when I did the autumn mosaic blanket for the county fair? Y'all remember when I did that blanket? And we used the wheat and the rust and the gold and the brown. We used 5 different colors on that border because that was the colors of the blanket. And I worked all 5 of those colors because each row was a different color. It started out with the lighter color and then went to the gold. Then I think it was pumpkin, and then it was like a darker rust and then brown. So I literally did 5 of these rows at once. I'm sure some of you were here when I was working on that, but that's when I first started doing this. That blanket was very large. It was probably a little bigger than a queen size blanket that I did for the county fair. And it was heavy. It was the mosaic square. And it was a lot to keep turning it around and around and around in my lap. And I thought to myself, April, there has got to be a better, easier way to do this. Why don't we just get all 5 colors and work them in small sections so you're not constantly having to spin this heavy blanket around on your lap? Hey, Queen, good morning. Jen, thank you for helping over on YT. I appreciate you being over there. I realize all our YT friends that watch me, I have to tell you, I did a pretty big faux pas last week. I was like, why is nobody commenting over there on YT? Usually friends are popping in and saying hello. Well, I forgot um, I had to update my YT app on my TV, and when I did that, I forgot to turn on the comments. And it looks like my comments aren't working on my TT right now. Let me try to refresh here. There we go. So yeah, it was Taryn, thank you so much for becoming a super fan. Thank you for that. We're going to be doing the celebration for the month of February. I'm going to work on that today. Hopefully, if work time permits, to do the little wheel thing, So I'll probably be doing that for our February. And then, of course, we'll do it again for March. But I can't believe it's March already, y'all. Can you believe that? Time is just flying by, huh? Flying by. I'm ready for spring too. Our dogwood started blooming. Hey, Sarah. Good morning. Welcome in. I did believe you did that with the yellow and white blanket. I did, Vicky. Great memory. She's got a mind like a steel trap over there, I tell you. Yeah, that sunshine blanket. Remember when we did the sunshine? Um, Just a Gen X girl. She recommended that I do that border particular way. It was such a great suggestion. We actually incorporated into the ruffle on that one. We actually did post work into the exact scallop that we were doing. It was so cool. We had kind of experimented together on that blanket. But yeah, I did the same thing on that one. So great memory, great memory. It's fun to kind of work it in smaller sections like this. It's kind of like instant satisfaction, whatever you call that, because you get to see it like work up right in front of your face instead of waiting till you get all the way around. You got to get all the way around, and then you get to do the next color, and then eventually you see it like kind of all come into place. With work in smaller sections like this, although it seems like it may take a little longer, I definitely like the ability to be able to see that kind of come like all into play. So it's kind of fun. Kind of fun. So what did all you guys work on this weekend? Did you work on your crocheting? Did you get any do you have a lot of projects on your hook right now? What are y'all working on? Do tell, do tell. We're gonna work on a hat tomorrow. I got some new yarn that I want to try out. And so we're gonna work on a new Bernat yarn I got. And we're gonna do the premier spiral shell hat tomorrow on the live. And then on Thursday, I'm working on learning a new stitch. So we're going to do a new stitch for me on Thursday. Finished a blanket and a mesh bag. Nice. Paloma's working on a baby girl blanket. Cheston's working on the mosaic ocean blanket. Ooh, that sounds pretty. Working on my nephew's blanket, sewing it together. Nice, Kate. Making progress, huh? Just finished a garland for the fireplace. Shamrocks. Oh, Todd, festive. I'm going to be changing up the stickers here pretty soon. I have a whole new line of St. Patrick's stickers, so we'll be doing those pretty soon too. Nana's been ill. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. My first day to crochet in over a week. Oh, it's going to be so much fun to. I'm messing this up, y'all. Hang on. Stop yakking, April. For this top row, the top row is different. I'm actually doing a half double crochet on the half row, on the top row. I wanted that to be shorter through there as we're going to work a back post, not a back post, a third loop single crochet. So I need to do half doubles here. I'm glad I caught that. I would have been having to do frogging after the live. That wouldn't have been fun. Vicky, have a great day. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you being here. Remember, guys, next week we'll be back to 2-hour lives. I'm very excited about it. We're going to be at some point working on Leah's new mesh bag that she's got going. So we're going to do that. Yeah, we've got a lot. I've got a lot of exciting stuff that yeah, Cheston definitely posted over in the Discord. I'd love to see it. I love seeing all your guys' projects and works. It's a lot of fun to see that. Diane, thank you so much for the heart me and good morning. Welcome, welcome. Marla, thank you so much for the go popular. Yeah, so much stuff. I've got a lot of projects and ideas rolling around in my head, and I'm really glad that we're um, headed into spring. MJ's working on the study of snow. I have one of those in the works too. MJ, one of my favorites. Husband wants it 75 inches, and I'm at 65. Oh, you're so close, so close. That is nice. That pattern actually, I really enjoy. I feel like with the study of snow, It works up faster than one would think because you're like changing all the different stitches so frequently. It doesn't really like get monotonous or anything. It's kind of fun to work that pattern, and before you know it, it's like, "Oh, wow, I'm at 65 inches. Who would have thunk it?" Right? Where did my time go on this? Okay, so I have worked across all 4 strands now. So here's where we're at. Let me see if you guys can see this. So we're just alternating. We're doing blue, white, and then we're alternating front post and then back post, front post, back post, and we just stack them up on top of each other. What this does is it makes it very pretty from both sides. So if we flip this blanket over, this is what the back looks like. It actually has the texture on the back there as well. So it kind of gives it a fun look. This border that I'm doing is modified, but if you want to make something very, very similar to this is by Craft and Crochet on YT. She has a really amazing channel. Sometimes she's hard to understand. She has kind of a thick accent. So I recommend putting on the CC, turn on the closed captions, and then you can follow along with the text as she's crocheting. But she makes little baby shoes, baby blankets, baby hats, um, baby appliques, all sorts of fun baby projects. Yeah, that crossed stitch in the Study of Snow, MJ. MJ said, definitely, I just struggle with the cross stitch. That is probably one of the hardest stitches, I feel like, in the pattern, and a lot of people struggle with that row. Um, but I've mentioned to people before, you could substitute something else there or do it a little different if it becomes too cumbersome. But in doing it and practicing, you will get more proficient at it. So even if it's a struggle at the beginning, it's kind of nice to, be able to do that stitch. It's worked a little different than this crisscross we're doing. This crisscross, the center of this blanket is by Daisy Farm Crafts. This is Baby Kate's Blessing blanket. However, I'm putting a different border on it. So this crisscross is a crisscross double crochet. There's no chain or anything in between. So basically, I skip a stitch, do a double crochet, then I come back and pick this up. We've done this a number of times on the live. This is Daisy Farm Crafts does have a YT tutorial of this as well as the written pattern. So it's a really fun, easy stitch, and then it's followed with a single crochet. So as I made this is actually the front of my work. However, when I look at this pattern, I really like how the back looks better with the crisscrosses. I just feel like it makes the crisscrosses a little more of the star of the show, and you don't see those single crochets as much, you see more of the crisscrosses. So when I put my borders on these blankets for Baby Kate's, I'm actually putting it on technically the back of Baby Kate's Blessing blanket, but I just like how it looks a little better. I like the texture of this versus the other side. So kind of different. You don't have to follow the rules if you don't want to. Oh, and mom is on a cruise again, guys. Her and Papa Wheeler are on a cruise. So they'll be out all week. If you're wondering where my mom has been hanging out at. So that's why she's not here. They're down in the Caribbean again. So here we go. Front post, double crochet, pull up my loop. Now I've got 3, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So this one was a front. Now we need to do a back post. So I yarn over. Again, I hold my thumb here so I can kind of control this yarn and pull it back away from the tip of my hook. I put my work forward and I find that post and I slide my hook underneath. Then I yarn over and pull up a loop. So once again, we're back to 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Now that was a back post. So now we're going to switch and we're going to go to a front post. So again, yarn over, slide my hook underneath the front of that post or behind that post, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So traditional stitches are worked in the top of the stitch under the front and back loop that you see here. We're working them a little different. Now, it's kind of hard to see the post because this was a single crochet that we did here. However, in doing a single crochet, what it allows it to do, this was the raised row that I did right here. So in doing a single here, it allows this border section to sit closer to the framework. If you do something like a double crochet in the third loop here, these stitches would sit up probably about here. So you're going to see kind of a section of color there, and it won't sit quite so close. So that is why I prefer the single crochet there, to try to close that gap, bridge that little gap there, and get that border to sit right next to that framing. Okay, so here we go. This was a front post. Now we need to do a back post. So yarn over, put my work forward, slide underneath that post, pull up a loop. So now we have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Hey, Linda, good morning. Paloma, yeah, I'm a bit of a rebel. Hey, Tony Ann, good morning. Welcome, welcome. Happy Tuesday. Nani, good morning. Welcome. So here we go. Now we need to do a front post. So yarn over, slide our hook underneath that post, pull up a loop. So now we have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Now here we go with our back post. Yarn over, put our work forward, slide underneath that post, pull up our loop. Now we have 3. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Nani, thank you so much for the heart me. Hope everybody had a fabulous weekend. Katie said, I'm working on the bobble stitch. That's a fun stitch. Fun to say, fun to do, right? I like to do bobble stitches. I think one of my favorite ways to do those are when I do the rosebud baby blanket. I use that bobble stitch as my little rosebuds. It's one of my favorites. Little bobble action. Okay, so here we go. Back post again. Under that post, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And we're just going to keep repeating that all the way down, all the way down. So once I get a kind of a good little section of these, then what we're going to do is we're going to pick up our next color, which is the white, and we're going to carry that along. So once you kind of get going with these, you can kind of speed up a little bit, and it won't take me eons to do this. Obviously, I'm slowing this down so I can kind of show about the stitches and how to form those. But once you get kind of practice with these front and back posts, they do go much quicker. So you'll be able to kind of cruise along as you're doing this. All right, so let's pause there. Let's go back and pick up our white. Paloma said, I was thinking I would do the rosebud border on my baby blanket. Oh, that would be really pretty, Paloma. Tonda, good morning. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. If you are new to the channel, I've seen a number of new friends pop in today. My name is April, and I'm a hobby crocheter. I come live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings at 7:30 Central Time, 8:30 Eastern. We are coming off of daylight savings time on March 8th. So, right now, our lives this week are for 1 hour. However, starting next week, you're going to get a double dose because you're going to get me for 2 hours, whether you like it or not. I'm excited. I'm really excited about coming off of daylight savings time, guys. I feel like a lot of times when I'm doing stitch talk, sometimes 1 hour is not enough, especially if we're doing like a granny square or a hat or a specialized border, any of that stuff. So I'm really excited. I don't know what I have on deck for next week. We'll figure all that out. But yeah, the schedule is good. We're going to basically, the other thing too, a lot of our West Coast friends, it is so early. It is coming up to 8 o'clock here in Alabama. What time is it in California? Does that mean is it 7 o'clock in California right now? Or is it 6 o'clock? I'm thinking it's 6 o'clock, right? Hey, Eartha, good morning. Welcome in. I'm thinking it's 6 a.m. in California. Yeah, 6 a.m. So when we do daylight savings time, because I stay on live longer. Yeah, Desert Life knows. There's our California gal right there. She knows. And you're up so early. But yeah, you'll be excited because starting next week, we get to do 2 hours, which means we're going to get to see hopefully more of our West Coast friends a little more in the coming week. So yeah, I'm always excited to have that. We've got a lot of good friends over there um, on the West Coast. Of course, I'm originally from Arizona, and I've got family in California. I've got family up in Oregon. So yeah, I'm super excited to be picking up that extra time and spending with our West Coast friends. Of course, I love it. I love all the friends, and we've got friends across the pond. We got friends everywhere. But yeah, it should help with me being on a little longer to be able to see some of the friends we haven't seen for a while. So it's kind of cool. And okay, so I finished the white. Okay, so basically wherever I did a front post, I repeated front post. Wherever I did a back post, this one, I repeated in the back post. What that does is it gives this border kind of a two-sided look to it. So we've got cabling on the back and also cabling on the front, and it kind of makes it like a fun squishy border. So it's really kind of cool. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up the blue color and I'm going to carry this across and just do another little section here. Hey, Miffy, good morning. Does realize says I don't sleep, right? I feel like that sometimes. Hey, Karen, good morning. Thank you so much for the heart me. How are you doing, my friend? How are you doing? I was talking to Leah and JT, and Leah said she got some snow yesterday. Did anybody else get snow yesterday? I hate to tell the old weather man, whoever controls all that stuff, y'all, we're sick of snow. We want to see some spring flowers. We want to see some green. We are done with the cold. It's time for spring. Let's get with it. Let's get with the program. No snow, but freezing rain. Oh, Jen. Yuck. Yuck. Ohio did. Ohio. Snow in Maryland. We have rain, Kate says. Well, rain's better than snow, I think. That means you're warm enough not to get snow. So there's that, right? It is cloudy and overcast here again today, but it is warm. We got up in the 70s yesterday. It's 52 here right now. So we're definitely headed into spring. All the frogs are out of hibernation. You can hear them on the critter cameras. They're croaking away, doing all the things. And a lot of the trees have started to bloom. The Bradford pears are always one of the first to bloom in our area. I know a lot of people don't like the Bradford pears, but they do put those pretty white blooms on, and we've got a bunch of them in the kind of tree line surrounding us. So Marla wants to know, how do you decide which brand to use? Um, I use different yarns for different things. So, one of the things I look at is the price. And I know that might be, you know, not the nicest thing to think about, but I do think about it, right? I'm very cost conscious. And I will say, if I am donating to charity, I do go with the more economical yarns because I'm making lots and lots of blankets, right? So I will go with more of an acrylic yarn, and it's because of the cost. For family heirlooms and stuff, I really like this Bernat Softee cotton. So if I'm making a blanket for a family member, a close friend, I really will invest more in the blanket, I guess you could say. So I will go with a more pricier type yarn because it's going to a family member. And I want that to be around in our family for a lot of years to come. So this Bernat, it definitely is a little higher price point, but it's worth it to me because it's going to be for my niece. Um, and so I really thank you so much, Bo. Welcome in from England. Nana says, nice to see another New England or England crocheter here as well. Yeah, we've got a lot of people that tune in from across the pond. So it's nice to have everybody here. Cloudy day in Southeast Georgia. So mostly I look at the price point. and who I'm making it for, what I'm doing with it, and all of those things. There are a ton of great baby blankets or baby yarns out there. And I don't know that necessarily one is better or inferior to the other. They all kind of serve their purpose. For this particular blanket, I really like this cotton acrylic blend. I feel like it gives a really good weight to the blanket, and it feels quality. You know how sometimes baby blankets are they feel really light and just kinda can I say it? They just feel kinda cheap, right? Some of the yarns, they just feel cheap. This yarn doesn't feel like that. This yarn feels like, "Oh, yeah, this is nice yarn. This is quality." You know what I mean? So, I just kinda weigh those things out. Obviously, the other part I look at is, are the colors that I wanna use available in the yarn that I'm looking for? Colors are an important part too. Maybe the blue is not the right color of blue. Hey, Stephanie, good morning. Welcome in. Bubbles, good morning. Welcome in. It kind of depends. There's a lot of, I guess, different factors that I look at. Now, one of the new yarns is Premier Basics DK. One of the projects we're going to work on Thursday, I'm learning a new stitch. Some of y'all may have done this stitch before. That yarn I'm using is a DK weight. So that's the other thing I look at too. I really like a DK weight yarn for baby blankets. So it's a 3-weight yarn. And so that could also be a deciding factor as well. But I really like Premier's DK. It's really nice. So do you guys want to see what we're working on Thursday? It's a brand new stitch for me. I learned it this weekend. I've been wanting to make this stitch. This stitch that I'm doing on Thursday will hopefully lead me into something a little more complicated. So I'm kind of like trying to advance my crochet skills by taking on some new stitches. I'm always trying to do that. JT loves the ribbing. Well, thank you, JT. I appreciate that. I love the look of the cabling. It just is kind of a cool way to do it, and it's kind of squishy and thick with the different rows alternating them. It just really looks kind of fun. So yeah, it's kind of cool. Okay, let me pause here. We're gonna start now all over with the next section, but this is how we're looking with our border so far. So you can kind of see there how it's looking with the cabling and our little framework. So we're working these 4 rows right now this morning is what we're doing. And we're alternating front and back post double crochets. JT said it looks more complicated than it is. That is right. It's all an illusion, right? It's all an illusion. YT friends, can you see that cabling effect? I got to kind of flatten it out for them. Their camera's at a little different angle. So, anyhow, for before I get started on this next little section, we're almost to the corner here, y'all. That's exciting. The blanket that we're going to do on Thursday is called the Harlequin stitch. Has anybody made the Harlequin stitch? This is what it looks like. This is brand new to me, brand new. I just learned this. I just learned on Sunday. I was practicing with it. This is Premier DK. I don't remember the colorways, but I'll have that information for you on Thursday. It looks very, very similar to the Catherine's wheel. However, this is a different stitch. And Catherine's wheel is also on my to-do list. So anyhow, I'm hoping this will be the stepping stone to Catherine's wheel. And so I'm going to be teaching this on Thursday. We're going to talk through these stitches. This, I will tell you right now, this looks complicated. And when I break this down for you guys on Thursday, you're going to be like, oh, snap. That is not that hard. I really thought that was going to be more complicated, but it's worked in 2 rows. So you can kind of see this row here. See how we've got this one? And they kind of snuggle down into the valleys there. So we've been working a lot on chevrons as kind of a warm up of how we go up and down the mountain. Same kind of concept is going to apply here. So yes, Thursday at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern, we're going to be doing a Harlequin. And I know a lot of people are going to be wanting to learn that stitch. I will make an event for that. If you're over on YT, you can already see the event is made. So be sure and click the little bell so that you'll get notified when I go live. But yeah, it's fun. I'm super excited about it. So that blanket that I'm making, one of my husband's buddy. Oh, that was complicated. One of his friends is having a baby, and so he asked me if I could make a new baby blanket for their baby that's coming. And I said, "Well, sure. Do you like this stitch? It's one that I've been wanting to learn." And he's like, "Yeah, that looks good." They're having a baby girl. They already found out. I was kind of waiting for them to find out. So anyhow, yeah, that's going to be on Thursday. And then tomorrow we're going to do the Premier Spiral Shell Hat. I've made a bunch of those, but I haven't done it on the live. But I got a new yarn I want to show y'all from Bernat that came this week. So I want to show that yarn, and I'm super excited. I don't have the hat made yet. So that's going to be my homework for today, is to get the hat. So I'll have something to show you, and then we'll make it on the live tomorrow. We won't have time to do the whole hat, but we could get it started at least. So anyhow, that's what we've got on deck. Besides, I know, careful with those tongue twisters, right, JT? Woo, words are hard this morning. It's Tuesday. It's like my Monday around here. So Hucklebuck your heart out. Yeah, that's right. Uh, Hucklebuck is a little term, Dusty Crumb down in Florida. That's where I learned that from. He is a wrangler of pythons, and he uses that term Hucklebuck. So I was telling JT about it. Are you using DK? Wait, I am. I'm using Premier DK on that Paloma. Premier DK. I really like that yarn a lot. It's really nice. Our friend Leah Leapin Llamas, she's using some Premier DK also for some of her projects, and she is really liking it. It is 8:09 a.m. 8:09 a.m. So Bo, rewind a half hour, and that's when I'll be coming on tomorrow, and so on. So yeah, it's kind of cool. I also, Bo, since you're new, also, I do make events. So if you go to my profile on TikTok, usually I will have events made. I need to make tomorrow's and Thursday, and then you can register for those events, and it will tell you when I'm going live. But also, guys, sometimes I do pop up lives. So make sure when you are on my page, make sure you turn on the little bell, the notifications, and that way TikTok will alert you when I go live. Okay. Sister Gail, good morning. Welcome in. Welcome in. So, guys, all we're doing right now is alternating front and back post double crochets. So, I just did a back post. Now we're going to go right here on the front and do a front post double crochet. So, I yarn over, bring my hook down. Instead of working here in the top of the stitch, I go under that post, pull up a loop. So we have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and then we're going to do the next one. We're going to go to a back post double crochet. So once again, yarn over. Instead of working around the front, we're going to go to the back. So we're going to yarn over. I like to hold my thumb here so I can control this yarn a little better. Put my work forward, look for the post, slide my hook under that post, pull up a loop. So we have 3, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Now we're going to go back to a front post. So yarn over, underneath that front post, pull up a loop. So now we have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Now we're going to go back to the back post, yarn over, and we're going to put our work forward, and underneath that post, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Yeah, Nana, I make events for mine. Not everybody does that. A lot of people don't keep a schedule. For those that have known me a long time, I'm very much, I need to have a plan. I need to have things thought out. I need to have a schedule. I need to know what I'm going to work on. I'm very much that way. Other people are more fly by the seat of their pants, where they're just like, "Hey, I'm going to go live now and I'm going to work on this project," and they just kind of wing it. That whole like winging it thing for a wheeler does a little number on my brain, if I'm being honest. So I more like to have a schedule, have a plan. I work very hard on the weekend to figure out what I'm going to work on all week. I put those events both on TikTok and YT so that they're scheduled out ahead of time. And then I like to stick to that schedule. So I know that that probably is maybe it's a little OCD. I don't know, but that's just kind of how I am personally. So it helps keep me organized and whatnot. But yeah, you'll see those events on my page as well. So as we're doing this blanket, guys, let's talk about our corner here for just a moment, okay? As I am finishing out the corner, you can see here I am ending on a front post. As I am doing this blanket, I will tell you, I didn't count these stitches when I did this border. I like to keep it very consistent though. So if we go back here to the very beginning, you can see this was my corner stitch. In the corner, I did half double, chain one, half double. My very first stitch, this one here, was a front post. Okay. So as I'm keeping my blanket across, I want to make sure I'm ending in the same fashion so that I have a front post here. Okay. So let's frog this back a little bit because let's talk about what happens if you get to this point and all of a sudden if this was my last stitch ending on a back post and I really want it to be a front post, how do I address that? Okay? So, we're going to skip over a stitch here and let's pretend this was a front post. And now my last stitch here is supposed to be a front post, but in reality, because of how we ended, it's a back post, so it's not ending correctly. Here is what I would do in that situation. There's a couple different ways you can rig this and make it work. So, number one, you could do a front post instead of going just around the one stitch, you could do a front post around both of these stitches. Okay, so I literally go under all of them and it gets a little thick through there, but you could finagle it that way. And I promise you, as you work on this, nobody's going to know that you scooped up two stitches right there. Okay, so you could do that if you wanted to try to absorb it that way. The other thing that you could do is as you are working this, what you could do is you could sneak another stitch in. So right here, you can see I have my front post. If it was working out that I wouldn't have enough, you could conceivably come in here around the same post, do it as your back post, sneak a stitch in there. So as you're working, you're actually going to have two stitches around that post, and that will help to even it out so that you end with a very clean line there. That is how I prefer to do it because I think when you do a back post around where you've already done the front post, it most cleverly disguises that stitch and nobody will be the wiser. So if you find that is happening, that is my trick of how to even this border out so that you get it to end in the right spot. Does that make sense to everybody how I kind of squeeze that extra stitch in there to bring a little balance to my blanket? In my case, it worked out fine. I want to end on a front post and that is where we are ending. So right before I head into the corner, I need a front post double crochet. Now into the corner, I need a half double. Does anybody know why we do a half double instead of a double crochet in the corner? Does anybody know the reason why we would do a smaller stitch in the corner instead of the taller double? Now, as I head out, we're going to do a front post again around that first stitch. So front post double crochet, and then we're going to do back post for the next stitch. We're going to kind of round the corner here. Leah knows. Leah knows she's smart girl that way. Round corners. Nope, that's not it. It's because When you do post work, okay? So when you do your post work, what happens is even though these are double crochets, when you work around the post instead of in the stitch, what happens is this becomes a shorter stitch. By nature, it makes it shorter. So what will happen is if you come here in your corner and do a double crochet, it will make it so these corners become taller and pointier. Have you ever worked on a blanket and all of a sudden your corners are starting to look like this rather than this, where they become real pointy? That is because the stitches are too tall, and that will affect how that looks out. After we do a bunch of these, we will end up with a corner that is not a 90-degree angle. So to combat that, instead of doing a double crochet, because these are shorter, can you see how this one is shorter than this one because we went around the post? So instead, what we will do is we will do a half double. Now, the other thing that I will do in the corner here, guys, sometimes I will make sure I kind of, when I'm making my half double, I pull it up to the height of my other stitches. Okay. So I pull that so that it sits flush to these. Chain one, and then I do another half double in the corner. So I do pull my half double up a little taller, but this way, this stitch is the same height as these back and front posts that we just did. So I'm going to continue to have a 90-degree corner instead of one that is more pointy. Isn't that cool? That's a cool little trick. It's good to put that in your little crochet bank of knowledge, whatever you want to call it. Leah said you could also do extended half double. Yes, you absolutely could. You absolutely could do extended. Extended half double is taller than a half double, but it is not as tall as the double crochet. So it would be a perfect stitch to plug in there as well. So yeah, put that into your crochet knowledge as you're doing it. If you ever find that your corners are getting too pointy, that most likely is what is happening if you're working on post work like this. So very, very good little tip there. User 8, thank you so much for the sharing the live. Donnie and Connie Joy, welcome in. Good morning. Thank you so much for the follow. Joan had it right because front post crochets aren't as tall. Well said, Joan. Well said. That was perfect. Yep. Yeah. I work with a bunch of very knowledgeable crocheters here. Very knowledgeable. Jody, thank you so much for the heart me and good morning, friend. Welcome in. Welcome in. So we have finished around the corner of our blue yarn. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick back up my white yarn, and we are working on multiple strands of yarn here as we're working on this border, guys. So there's a couple of different ways you could do this. You could work the blue all the way around your blanket. What I like to do is I like to grab 4 skeins of yarn because I'm working 4 different rows of this border. Okay, so here's our blue that we just worked. Now we're going to work the white, and wherever we had a front post, we're going to repeat that. Wherever we had a back post, we're going to repeat that. And we're going to stack these stitches on top of each other. So I'm going to do blue, white, blue, white. Now, these are first 3 rows are double crochet, front post and back post. However, when we get to the border right here, the last one, I'm actually doing a front post half double and a front post or back post half double. And the reason why is because I want to do a single crochet in the 3rd loop so that it matches this line of texture and that framework. We're going to have another one of those right there to frame in this border, and it's going to look very, very cool. So, and then I'm going to definitely put a scallop on this. So probably by next week, I'll have this blanket to show you. I'll probably do um, a TikTok as well, and probably a YT short. So this was a front post. Is this waffle stitch blanket? No, Brigida, this is, the center is Baby Kate's blessing blanket, this white part. And now we're just working on the border. The border is by Craft and Crochet. Craftand is spelled out, and crochet. And it is pattern 2208 is what I'm using for the border. That's the closest to it. I have modified this a little bit, but if you want to make something incredibly similar, craft and crochet on YT pattern 2208. So here we go. Oh, and pattern 2208 also, I would want to mention, I've made that blanket in full without the Baby Kate's Blessing blanket in the middle, and it is absolutely gorgeous as well. That one is a different stitch that she uses, and it's also one of my absolute favorites. So it's pretty cool. Okay, so this was a front post. Now what we need to do is a back post. So we're going to alternate these. Wherever there was a front, we'll do a front. Wherever there was a back post, we're going to do a back post. Okay. So yarn over. I hold my yarn here. I put my work forward. I slide underneath the post and then I pull up a loop. So we have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So instead of working on the top of the stitch here where we have our front and back loop, I'm working around the post and it puts the little white yarn there you can see. So now we're going to do a front post double crochet. Once again, yarn over, go underneath that post, pull up a loop. So we have 3, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Now this one here is a back post. So you can see there's the little blue underneath, yarn over, put my work forward, slide under that post, pull up a loop. So we have 3, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And then we're going to go to our next, which is again a front post, yarn over, underneath that post, pull up our loop. The front ones are a lot easier to do. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And we're just going to keep alternating those all the way across. After I finish this white, then we're going to go back and pick up that blue yarn. I'd love to get to the corner before I pop off the live. I don't know if that's going to be possible. Let's speed up a little bit here on these stitches. Make some tracks, I guess you could say. And here we go to the next. I know not everybody likes to make baby blankets. Tomorrow on the live, we're going to be working on something completely different. We're going to be working on a hat. My project for 2026 is to make 100 hats to donate um, to charity, to homeless shelters. So we need to get started on some of our March hats. I will be working on some of those in the background, but we are going to do a lot of hat making this year, every now and then sprinkled throughout the lives. So tomorrow we're going to be working on a hat. And then on Thursday, we're going to be working on a brand new stitch for me. I have never made it before, but it's called the Harlequin stitch, the Harlequin stitch. So yeah, kind of fun. Joan, good morning. This stitch that I'm doing right now is alternating front and back post double crochets. And we're putting a border on the baby blanket. That's what we're doing. Kelly says I have made 5 spiral shell hats. Yeah, I like hats to break up. Leah said hats are a fantastic in betweener. So, what she means by that is like, when you finish a big project or you need a break from a project and you're like, I just can't look at this yarn anymore. That is where the hats really come in handy. They really kind of help to break that up. So it's kind of a nice in between project. Um, Tu Sueño said, I love working on baby blankets. I do too. I really enjoy making baby blankets. Um, Indro, welcome in. Angelica, welcome in. Good morning. Thank you so much for the follows. Allie, I will see you on Thursday. Good morning. No problem. No problem. So Thursday, y'all, I'm winding down here. Thursday, on deck is a brand new stitch we're going to be talking through. It's this one right here. If you can see, this is again another baby blanket. My husband's friend is having a baby girl. And so we're going to be working on the Harlequin stitch. I'm going to be talking through how to do this. This is going to be Thursday morning at 7:30 Central, 8 Eastern. We're going to be talking through how to do these stitches. So make sure you tune back in Thursday if you want to learn how to do the Harlequin stitch. This is Premier DK. This is a 3-weight yarn, but yeah, it's a really fun stitch. I thought it was going to be harder than it was. So I'm really excited to show you all because I think probably some people have been like Ooh, I don't know if I can do that stitch, but I will show you. I will make it so that you can understand it and maybe even give it a try. So that is what we've got on deck for Thursday and the rest of the week. So, yeah. And then remember, next week we start, we're going to be back on for 2 hours. So, big change coming. I'm very excited to be going back to our 2 hour schedule. We're going to scoop up those West Coast friends that we have missed for so long during this winter season. So, I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see everybody again. Heather, good morning. Welcome in. Thank you so much for the follow. And Natasha, good morning. Welcome. Thank you so much for the follow. Guys, if you are new to the channel, we are live this morning, both on TikTok and on YT. Eartha says, I love hat and baby blankets. Nice, nice. Well, yeah, it's going to be a fun week for you, Eartha. Um, we are live this morning both on TikTok and on YT. My handle on YT is Wheeler 8 Acre, same as TikTok. All the socials are the same, guys. So after we do the live, you can go back and watch a replay. So if you ever want to see how I was working on, this border, you can always go back and rewatch the live. Need to work out the times as I'm from the UK. So, Natasha, I have been on for 1 hour, and that's all that I have time for today. So, if you were to rewind, set your clock 1 hour from whatever time it is right now, that's the time that I'll be on tomorrow and Thursday. And then make sure, guys, make sure you turn on your bells too as we're doing the daylight savings time change. I know in the UK, you guys might not have the same daylight savings time. I know our friend Hannah in France, hers is different. So like when we go off of daylight savings time, she's not off of it yet, I don't think. So, yeah, the best thing I can tell y'all, friends, is when you're on my profile, if you're on YT or if you're on TikTok, click the little bell and turn on notifications, and it will notify you when I go live. The other thing is check my profile on both TT and on YT. There are live events for upcoming. So when I get off the live today, I'm going to make a event for tomorrow for the hat, and I'm going to make an event for Thursday for the Harlequin. When you see those events on my profile, you can click on it and say to be reminded or notified. Okay, and you can do the same thing over on YT. So if you want to watch on your TV, those events are already made for Wednesday and Thursday. So that's probably the easiest thing. Okay. Anyhow, the center of the baby blanket, Lulu, is called Baby Kate's Blessing Blanket. Baby Kate's Blessing Blanket. It's by Daisy Farm Crafts. Some of you have seen me make this several times. It's one of my favorite go-to stitches for baby blankets. I like that it doesn't have the big holes in it, and it's a nice texture. We're gonna put this little guy in here. I have to go to work, y'all. But I will show the border and stuff that we've done today. Okay. So in the center of the blanket right here, this is Baby Kate's Blessing Blanket. It is crisscrossed double crochets. So we have crisscross double crochets followed by a row of single crochet. Now, instead of doing Baby Kate's Blessing Blanket border, I have done a different border on this. And this border right here is called pattern 2208. This is by a fellow YTer, and it is called, her channel is called Craft and Crochet, CraftAnd Crochet. She makes the most beautiful baby items, blankets, shoes, um, little hats, booties, appliques for baby blankets, all the things. Okay, so her name again is called Craft and Crochet. If you want to make baby stuff, she is a great, great resource. Okay. Hey, Maggie, good morning. So, friends, with that, I have to pop off. It is 8:30 and I have to get to work. So, tomorrow, remember, we're going to do the hat and then Harlequin on Thursday. So fun week ahead. I hope you all have a wonderful Tuesday. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Thank you so much for all of the taps, shares, likes, gifts, all the things. Welcome to our new super fan again. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Special shout out to all of our friends on YT. Appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope you all have a terrific Tuesday. Bye for now.